The latest employment number for November has just been released. It's a key indicator for the Reserve Bank to determine the future of interest rates. Our business editor, Ross Greenwood, is with us live. Ross, how does it look?
It looks perhaps a little worse than maybe even the analysts had forecast. The rate has come in at 3.9%, and this comes despite the fact that more jobs were created during the month. Now, the important aspect of this, just to go through this, is that in October, that you can see the rate was 3.7%, now ticking up to 3.9%, despite a large number of, in particular, full-time jobs, more than 50,000 jobs created during the month. What you can see over a period of time is that this rate is starting to tick up, which is in line with forecasts from both the Reserve Bank and also from Treasury, as we saw only yesterday with the mid-year economic and fiscal outlook. But the government, remember, has got a more pessimistic view as to where unemployment ends up as compared with the Reserve Bank. And so that's the key. If we have a look at this here, you can see that the previous month had been revised upwards, but then you've actually got a situation where the underemployment rate is also higher. Participation rate, that's very strong. And employment, broadly, as I say, as a result of full-time jobs during that month, which could largely have also come as a result of more jobs because of the Black Friday sales. Retailers need more staff. That could have really ticked over that period as well.
Okay, and could this help change the view of the Reserve Bank about interest rates, do you think?
Well, it could soften it just a touch. That'd be the view. And the reason for that is because any increase in unemployment quite clearly is something that will grab the attention of the central bank, even though it's part of their case that unemployment will rise. But the reason for that is because naturally, as you've got businesses perhaps doing it a bit tougher, then that unemployment rate will, over a period of time, increase. And bear in mind also this year, there's been 500,000 new migrants who have arrived in Australia. Most of those people seeking work. And so that, of course, means that there's more supply out there. So naturally, the rate rises. But we should say that this is still a very strong employment number in historic terms for Australia. And so from that point of view, it's still a situation where most people are able to cope while they still have a job.
And how have the markets fared off the back of this rate?
Well, this is going to be the key, Ash, because the markets already had a big boost from overnight, the US indicating it will be cutting interest rates over the course of the next year. And you can see that big rise, in particular in the ASX 200 as it opened. But off the back of these numbers, almost no move at all. So the market, the stock market at least, taking it at its stride at this elevated level as a result of the prospect of lower US rates. If we go and have a look at, say, the dollar, for example, here you can see the Australian dollar. This chart also has seen a big jump spike off the back of this. And this is perhaps an indication getting out to 66.8. So it's up almost 1/4 cent since the numbers come out just a few minutes ago. And the reason for that is the prospect of potentially even lower interest rates here in Australia sooner than expected. Most economists hadn't expected that to happen until perhaps 2025. But maybe with numbers like this accelerating more rapidly than what people expect, the number of people out of work, it could well be that many change their forecast to see the first rate cuts here in Australia in late 2024.